Good evening and welcome to MCFC 9320 PUbcast. Good evening, Stan. Good evening, Paddy. I always want to say Max and Paddy for some reason. I don't know what it is. Good evening, everybody who's in the chat. Good to see you all. See, there's plenty of comments on that already. Anne-Marie's going to be a little bit late tonight because she's had to drop Riyadh off at the airport and she's been stuck in traffic. So she will join us very, very soon. Let's get right into it. Paddy, we've got to start with Doku, haven't we? Because I've been sick of the comparisons and stuff like that. I noticed a huge difference with Doku yesterday. It was more... His distribution was better.
Yeah. He's still like...
Oh, here she is.
Oh, jeez.
How's Riyadh, love?
I wouldn't know.
How was he?
He's only been gone half an hour.
So, yeah. We as I say, we've got to start with Doku. No, people have got overhyped with him, in my humble opinion. When all I wanted for the lad to just settle in, do his thing, no pressure. And his previous matches, he's been very, very quick, very attacking. But it was sort of like a bit of a difference yesterday in the respect of it was more controlled with the ball.
Yeah,
he
had a good game.
His distribution was absolutely bang. His distribution was bang on. And he's had more assists in one game than Anthony has in the Premier League this season.
Well, that wouldn't be hard.
He
had a good game. Good player. He's still very, very raw. He's not the finished article by any stretch of the imagination. Just the way Oscar Bob when he came on, he played well. He's definitely not the finished article either. But going back to what we say, Stan's saying, the days or the games that we need the whole possession of the ball, when Doku will be in the pitch, it'll be greenish. But when you have the setup that they had with 10 behind the ball, Doku's the man there to unpick that lock, so to speak. But I thought it was a very strange yesterday. I thought for the first half an hour it was shocking. Mainly down because they were camped in their own box. You know?
Shocking.
And then the goal too.
Have you just really said shocking?
Shocking.
Yeah, but well, SHITE it was for the first half an hour.
I tell you what. And just to show people, I do actually prep for the show. I've actually put we only needed second gear yesterday. There was a 10-minute spell where we just upped it, sorted it, and then get game over. I wouldn't say we were shocking. I'm not saying we was our blistering
the
best.
match was shocking for the first half an hour. It was fucking anti-football for a half an hour.
Sounds like your dodgy stream was shocking.
What dodgy screen? What are you talking about? I was there.
No, I think Anne-Marie, you was there, unlike him. We didn't have stop. Did we? We didn't. We had the full view of it, didn't we?
We certainly did.
Do you agree? We weren't shocking. We was more just did what we needed to do.
I know where Bobby's coming from in the first half hour. Because I don't think some of the stuff we were trying wasn't coming off. Alvarez trying little flicks here and there. So I think it took us a while to get into the game to work them out, to work out how we could break them down. And once we did, there was no stopping us. That's my honest opinion. I think... Again, the second half, when you're making 3 changes at once, it disrupts the team.
I swear we've not even prepped this because as I say, Anne-Marie's been at the airport. I've just put. Where did I put it? don't like mass. I've put don't like mass changes because it does happen. Anne-Marie, you're absolutely right. It just unsettles us, and they scored pretty much straight after those 3 changes come on.
Yeah, and it highlights. And I'm not getting on his back, but Calvin Phillips. I just think it just highlights the difference in class.
Okay, then let me throw one at you. I don't think Kovacic had the best of games yesterday.
No, and I'm not saying that he did, but I think he did a better job. Excuse me, on the pitch than Phillips did. Phillips needs opportunities, but unfortunately, when he's getting them, he isn't making the most of the opportunities he's getting. And
look at this. Look, and I've only just seen that comment as well, Alec. Yeah, I tell you what, it sounds like I'm on the ball tonight for once.
That'll be a first, yeah.
Terrible. No, I just Stan. I can't. I must be hungover if I'm going to say this. Bring some reality to this, mate. Was we shocking, or did we? Do you agree with me?
I don't think we were shocking. I just think you can't be expecting to be 3-0 up after 20 minutes. And I know that's what the gang aren't saying. We're not saying that. But it's a case of they had a little game plan. It took us about 20 minutes to figure it out. Their gaffer more or less admitted it on Match of the Day last night. He said we were starting to get a little bit comfortable. They made a couple of changes and they scored 3 in 7 minutes, and that's it. Then the game's over. You're chasing it. City didn't. We've got a game at midweek. At the moment, I think all we're doing is it's winter. If we get in there, if we get in there, then put your feet up for half.
Stan, are you on Paddy's stream? Are you live in Paddy's bedroom, living room?
Hey.
Oh man, Stan's had a stroke. Not that having a stroke. Not that having a stroke's funny, by the way.
From the purposes of Friday, I'm not saying that Man City were shocking. I'm saying the game in total was shocking because of the tactics that they employed. I'm not saying that City were shocking. I'm saying that it was football for half an hour.
Yeah, but right, Sean's nailed it. See you later, Stan. Oh, we love Stan. Bournemouth defended well for 30 minutes and gave it a go on 70 minutes when our subs came on. You know something? If somebody could sum a 90-plus minute matchup, Sean's just done it there for me.
Yeah.
I just thought it was. I'll go through some of my notes and we can chop and change, go through them as and when. I thought Walker was very, very good yesterday. Very, very good. There was a time in the first half, I think it was, where he absolutely it gave their forward about two hours start, and he still beat him. Foden was very good when he come on. It gave us that it gave us something different. Haaland, by what Pep's saying, is going to be okay. He's going to, but I'll ask you as well as the guys in the chat. Yeah, I don't feel comfortable saying it this way. We play young boys on Tuesday. I wouldn't start Haaland. I would save him because if he's got a little bit of a knock,
yeah, why risk him?
Because with all due respect, we should be beating young boys on Tuesday.
Yeah, and we've got Chelsea on Sunday.
Yeah, you're right there, Andy. I won't bother playing him. If he's all right, play him. But to be honest with you, even if he's all right, it might be worth just giving him a rest. Did that answer of mine come out?
Giving the young boys a rest? Well, come on, it's only just turned 7 o'clock. He's gone again. Oh my god! I tell you what, we've got a screenshot that, haven't we? We've got a screenshot that.
Yeah, Stan at his best.
Stan's trying to work out Pep's.
Oh, sorry, this is so unprofessional. But yeah, I totally agree with what Sean said there. But I think it was great that it wasn't the bestest of matches, if I'm honest. We strolled through it, and I put that as the title of the show. We beat Bournemouth with ease. Are you on a roundabout there, Stan?
I am, yeah, mate. About 4 times now, this internet of mine's gone out. If you're watching this, Branson, get this fucking Virgin sorted out. It's absolutely fucking shite.
Well, the other internet providers are available.
No, they are. That's the thing, Amber. Other ones are, and that's why I'm not naming them. I'm naming the one that is completely shite, and that's your firm, Branson. So get a grip of it.
To be fair, Stan, I don't think Richard Branson watches this.
Well, if he doesn't, he should, and that's probably where he's going wrong in life. So anyway,
send him a clip of it, Stan, so he can see how well his internet's working.
I'm just going to share a private chat with somebody, with you folks, just before Anne-Marie joined us. I've only just seen it now. Let me in, you prick. Anne-Marie.
So I sat there listening to you chat shit about me taking Mahrez to the airport.
What, hang on a minute, you mean you were?
No, I wasn't.
All right.
I was just finishing my dinner.
Well, that's handy, that. He didn't make it clear.
Stan, will you keep still? You're giving me bleeding.
I can't keep still, that's what I'm saying. I've got to come in here where I'm a bit closer to the internet, but there's nowhere that can support this. So that's what it is, isn't it?
Right, let's get to the match. Anne-Marie, you're apart from me, you're the only stable one here at the minute. What impressed you the most yesterday, and what disappointed you the most?
I thought as a whole we did really well yesterday. Phillips and Núñez disappointed me when they came on. I don't think either one of them did themselves any favours. Thought Oscar Bob was good and he got an assist. Rico Lewis never lets you down. But I thought Aki did really well for the goal.
He did. Do you want a moment of the match for me? Bernardo's second goal. That was just that, especially the ball from Doku. It was just. Yeah. I thought he overcooked it at the end, because that's the end where I sit. I thought he overcooked it, but then that little chip over the keeper, that was just sublime. Paddy.
Oh, it was unreal. But I'll tell you one thing that we can't do out, and it was like it's getting more and more evident, is John Stones and Rodri. The way John Stones reads a football match it's a master for a defender, like for a centre back. He is unbelievable.
I agree, Pardo, mate. He does backtrack. Don't you, Paddy? No, you're right about Stones, to be fair, mate. When Rodri was out, everyone was going, "Oh, we miss Rodri, da. Stones was out at the same time. Maybe if Rodri was out, not out. If Rodri was out and Stones was playing, we wouldn't have missed him as much, if that makes sense.
Absolutely, 100%. He played one of the matches. I think he played Rico Lewis in there. And I think there's a few about Calvin Phillips. He's gone in January. I think he's going to Juventus.
right. So if Calvin Phillips is that bad, how come all these clubs like Bayern Munich, Juventus, etc., he's not bad. He's just not fitting into the system we now play. And everything revolves around Calvin Phillips, and it's a little bit fair. I just want the lad for his own career to leave City, whether it's a loan or whatever, in January. And for Calvin Phillips, him personally and his career to go away and get his footballing back, because he is not a bad player.
He's not a bad player.
But the problem with
he just doesn't do our system. Like you look at teams who buy players, say you're buying them, i.e. United, and they throw them all together on the pitch and expect it to work. We buy players for a position, and then we buy a player and we can change our style. Look at Haaland. We never played with number 9 before.
if anybody can just because obviously I do this as an audio as well, so the reason why we're laughing, Stan keeps freezing. He's like an auditionee out of Frozen. Even now,
let it go, Andy. Just let it go.
So everyone's just having a bit of a chuckle over Stan. Yeah, part of what.
Look how we changed our stylish talent. Look how we changed our stylish talent.
So,
but for some reason, Phillips is not getting it, unfortunately.
But listen, you're absolutely right. He's not going to be here come the end of January, right? So I think it's. I didn't even know what comment to put up. DC, we're getting a nice house tour. Thanks, Al. Who lives in a house like this?
It's not a house, it's a mental institution.
You speak
You
for
didn't
yourself.
need to tell us that.
So Stan, sorry, not Stan, Paddy, right? You made a comment before, or was it Anne-Marie? One of the same, really, about Núñez. How can we be judging Núñez now with very little appearances? Is it going to be the same as, when he comes on and people are going to be on his back like they did with Calvin Phillips, or are people actually going to give him a fair crack, what he deserves?
No, you see, I think Núñez will get a fair crack. I'm just saying that yesterday when he came on, he seemed to give the ball away a lot. And I know that it's hard to come into a game when we're that far ahead and, there's not very much to play for. So I get that. But it's the same with Phillips. Phillips lost the ball in important places yesterday, passed the ball back quite a bit and putting the defence under pressure when he didn't need to. I think Núñez, obviously, he'll get a decent run of games with all the competitions we're playing in. I've said it previously. I think the reason we bought Phillips wasn't even necessarily to fit in a role. It was to he was bought to fill the quota.
No, I agree. I just don't want him to get to the situation where Stan, can you sit still?
I'm sat still.
It's like a nursery. You're telling a toddler to sit still.
Go on, it's all right. At least they've not cut out for the minute, have you? What do you want me to do? You're an internet engineer. Come round and get it sorted.
I really won't tell you what I want you to do. Yeah, I don't want it to get to a situation where one scapegoat goes and another one steps in. I'm not saying from you, Anne-Marie, because I know you're one to pick on players and stuff, but I just want the lads to have a fair crack at it. I'm only joking.
You see, you're not going to get a fair crack at Andy and our team because of the team. Because of the standards, if you look at Gundogan, the interview you give after Barcelona match, when Real Madrid beat them, he said they were far too happy in the dressing room. like that. Them the mentality in that team. Nobody's given up their place.
No, I agree, Paddy. Right, but right, and a comment was made earlier, and I heard the comments yesterday, and I've seen them on social media since, where Calvin Phillips wasn't really great when he come on. Neither was Nunes. They're coming on for a substitute appearance for a reason. Now, I wouldn't expect Phillips, Nunes to be world beaters coming on as substitute appearances all the time. We can only really judge them, these players, with a run of games in the team. However, the chances of that happening are not going to be. They're not going to be up there, are they, Stan? You know, it's a catch-22. They're damned if they do, and they're damned if they don't at the minute.
No, you're right. And it doesn't matter what. It doesn't really matter what some players would do. We've got a history as a fan set, as most clubs do, of criticising and pigeonholing and persecuting players. And you're going right back to Corrigan and all that lot. That's what we are. That's what they do. That's what a lot of people do. Obviously, it gets worse now because of social media and people who've never set foot anywhere near Manchester. And I'm not saying overseas fans. I'm saying fans that, you know, haven't really got into what we're doing, and they've only supported us since we've been doing well. But
has somebody got heavy footsteps? Is there a ghost in somebody's house there?
What you're surprised at? There's fireworks on firework night.
Oh, it sounds like some like lazy bloke bouncing up the stairs. That boom.
Also, there's a firework display over there. It's really nice. Do you want to have a look? You've seen the rest of my house.
No, we don't want to.
You've seen the rest of my house. You might as well have a look. Anyway, so unless somebody comes in and they're perfect from the word go, let's not forget Rodri got it. Nobody at the moment would say drop Rodri, but it wasn't that long ago. He was called Ploddery, and things went on. He turned it around. He found his little niche. Guardiola opened the key for the door for him to get in, and he's all right now. Probably the exception to the rule is Ireland, who started off on fire, and now even he's going backwards as a tapping merchant who's only scoring 1 goal a game.
Speaking of Ireland, I won't mention Mike's name, who sits next to me at the match. Oh, but even before Haaland went off, he went, "I'd take Ireland off today." I went, "Are you mad?" He goes, "I'd take Ireland off," and I'm like, I said, "You need medical attention, mate." And when Ireland didn't come out for the second half, he dead smug. He goes, "Told you, Pep listens to me." And I went, "No, he's injured."
He's injured. Yeah.
But he just seems to think that because Haaland's missing quite a lot of chances there, but he did last season. The good thing
he does every season. You have a look
into them positions.
You have a look at him when he was at Dortmund. Right, over the course of the season, he'll score 30 goals, but he'll have scored them in only 15 games. Because he never used to score in 1 game, he used to score in 2. So he'd have little runs of where he scored 2 in like 4 games on the bounce, and then he wouldn't score at all for 4 or 5 games. But over the course of it, he's going to bang you 40 goals a season. But apparently, for the tapping merchant, that's not good enough anymore. But then again, the same set of fans were moaning for 2 years when we won the league that we didn't even have a striker. So you get a striker, you bring one in, he scores goals for fun, and it's still not right. What do? You're not going to, you know.
I agree.
I'd take a lot of what fans say with a pinch of salt.
Yeah, like Blue Arts, but there. I sort of agree, Andy, but I think Pep considers risk when putting players in as starters. Yeah, and it is sort of like a catch-22. It's like we want these players, Anne-Marie, to play, but we don't want to risk a defeat or a bad result, if that makes sense. So it is a case of...
I get what you're saying, Andy, but going back to Nunes and Phillips yesterday, you saw the way they played when they came on, and then you saw the way Rico Lewis and Oscar Bob played when they came on. And it was like worlds apart.
No, but I tell you one thing. I do agree with you, Anne-Marie, but I'll tell you one thing. How long's Rico Lewis been at the club?
All his
Well,
life.
he's been there a long time, hasn't he? But
Yeah, and he's been playing this system all the way through. That's why they play the same system. He knows what to do. Oscar Bob's been here a couple of years, but Oscar Bob's been here for a couple of years learning the system out of the what's the word you're looking for? Out of the spotlight.
Yeah.
So now he's come in and had a couple of years under his belt. He'll do all right. Nunes and all them are coming into a really complicated system, and 3 months later, they don't quite fit.
I know, but this is the thing. This is the thing,
Shit,
Stan.
Sherlock.
You can't say that. Phillips has had over 12 months with us.
I wasn't talking about Phillips and talking about your Nuneses and whatnot. They've
No,
only been here 3 months.
I'm just talking about Phillips at the minute. He's had over 12 months with us, and if he still doesn't get the system, then that questions his
100%, 100%,
intelligence, if you like, his football intelligence.
100%. And I tell you what, one thing I love is, as Andy was saying there, like, so how come Real Madrid and people like that are sniffing round him? Well, they will do, because they're not as good as we are, and they'll have to drop down a level. And if that means having to fall apart,
you've also got to remember, it's not necessarily that they're interested in him, but you've got his agent touting him out to all these clubs.
Yeah. Hang on. Again, we're bashing our own international fans. I think you'll say that I'm not talking about international fans. I'm talking about fans that have joined since we started winning.
He's not on about you, Numbnut. I'm just going through the comments.
Yeah, he says we bashing our own international fans. Nobody's bashing our own international fans. We're bashing fans that have only joined us since we started doing well. Don't care where they live.
Are you all right tonight?
Yeah, he's reading the comment, Andy.
I'm reading the comment that you put up.
I'm just going through the comments. He's not aiming at anyone specific.
What the hell? There's a comment there, and I'm reading it. Thank you, Anne-Marie.
On a serious note, you see how, say, Nunes and Phillips are struggling to get into that team. Doesn't it make it even more special that Doku has walked in it and grabbed it by the throat, and Grealish has serious competition in his hands. But then again,
it pains me, but I'm going to agree with Andy with regards.
Cut her off.
No, with regards to Grealish, because you can see why he'll play certain games over Doku and vice versa.
Mm-hmm.
Yesterday wasn't a game for Grealish, but it was for Doku. The same way as the derby wasn't a game for Doku, but it was for Grealish last week. And it wouldn't surprise me if we see Grealish start against Chelsea on Sunday. Just because of who we're playing, and possibly even Liverpool after the international break. Because it's like you say, it's different players for different situations. So, Doku's off to a flying start and he's doing really well. And I think, the same way when Jack plays, he does exactly what he's asked to do, and his ball retention is second to none. Mm-hmm. So I think we're in a very privileged position at the minute with what we have got on offer. And I think once we properly click into gear and we've got Kevin back as well, I think we'll be a real force to be reckoned with.
Yeah, regarding the just one sec, pal. Just by all means, message me, and I will by all means I will put a quiz together, just in case. I've made a note here, but I don't always follow up my notes because I forget they're there. So yeah, message me, and by all means I'll do a quiz and stuff like that. Not a problem. Great idea. Sorry, Paddy. Go on, mate.
Well, just what Anne-Marie was saying there, like, De Bruyne has to come back into that team, and that's going to, like, somebody's getting left on the bench because of that. Like you can't. Yes, you can use De Bruyne more sparingly now, but like if he's fit, he's match fit. It's very hard to leave him on the bench and play. But like, who's he coming in instead of? Like, who's the non-droppables in the? We all know who they are. So it's either going to be Foden or Silva that's going to be taking a bit of a seat to accommodate De Bruyne. But I don't think De Bruyne is going to play every match this time around because of we're getting a taste of life after Kevin De Bruyne as such now, and we're well able. So we won't be.
Paddy, but this might. I'm going to throw devil's advocate here. What gives KDB the right to come straight back in and take Alvarez's place or Foden's place or Bernardo's place? Has he not got to earn that right again?
Oh, absolutely. He did. But he won't earn it because he's the fucking best midfielder in the world.
Exactly.
In terms of creative midfielders,
He can do things that Alvarez can't do and will never be able to do.
No, I totally agree. Listen, KDB is one of my all-time City players, But what I'm saying is, he's not getting any younger. We need to prolong his City career. So even when he comes back from injury, which is probably looking like January, he's still got to be slowly. Like some people think that soon as KDB's fully back in training and he's on the bench, he's going to walk straight back into the team. I don't think that would be fair on an Alvarez or anybody who's been filling in for him and doing well. Alvarez has been brilliant this season for me. He's been absolutely fantastic. He don't deserve to be dropped, Alvarez, because KDB's back on the scene. What kind of message would that give to all the other players?
Yeah,
Stan,
but
you're not
Stan says about that. Like, we have to get away from that word "dropped" when we're referring to our team now. It's going to be rotated or a key for a lock or whatever kind of analogy you want to put on it. But there's no that starting 11, say, who played Man United. There's none of them deserve to be loser spot.
That's right. Stan, you was nodding your head before, mate. What was you nodding your head for?
Yeah, it's going to take a while for KDB. I don't think we're going to see the best of KDB till probably the beginning of March. Because by the time he's got his match speed up, his game speed up, and we're back into a settled team with him in it, because ultimately he will go in it. How he's introduced, we're not sure. Unfortunately, maybe somebody will pick up an injury, and then it's an easy option for Pep. These things happen. People get a chance because somebody else is injured. You don't want that option, but it's there. So, he could be back quicker than that. But I think, realistically, it's going to be the beginning of March for KDB to be back up to speed, which is great.
That's perfect for us because
of course it is, because he's coming.
We'll be in the knockout stages of the Champions League, playing with the FA Cup and even with the league.
And we've got a fit and fresh KDB playing for us instead of a jaded one. That, if you remember rightly, it wasn't about March, beginning of March, coincidentally, that he started to get a couple of niggles, and we were saying he's not quite looking right. It was only after the final that it came out that he had been playing with he had been playing with the niggle. And it finally went at the cup final. Not the cup final.
The only thing concerns me about him, Stan.
Yeah, he did go to the cup final, and then they rushed him back for some reason. So
okay, let's ask the guy in the let's ask the guys in the chat. Do you think when KDB's back, he walks straight into the team, or should we should he see? And I'm not deliberately leaving these comments on there. I'm trying to multitask. Blue heart. Stan is the only bloke that does prefer a virgin. Oh my. Do you think KDB walks straight back in, or should he be made to wait if the likes of Alvarez, Foden, Bernardo are playing in top form?
De Bruyne gave an interview there a couple of days ago. The doctor hasn't given a return date to training. And we're in November.
Yeah.
There's no return date to training yet, which is worrying.
Because I've got some breaking news. We're not doing too bad without KDB at the moment, Anne-Marie, are we?
No, we're not. And I'd, in all honesty, if we're still going the way we're going, Pep won't change the winning team. He won't change it just to put Kevin back in it. It could well be a slow process for Kevin to get back in, but he will get back in.
Yeah, I'm just looking at, the majority in the chat, seems to think, KDB walks straight back in. That's fine. I just think that, yeah, we're not doing too bad without him at the minute. Obviously, it's going to be a massive, massive boost, when he does return, because we know what he can. We know what he can do. We know the assists he can get. We know the goals. The match-winning goals. He's a big game player. Obviously, I just think at the moment, let's forget KDB at the moment until let's have these discussions when he is back, and he is starting to get a bit of match practice and stuff like that. Because the last thing I want is for him to come straight back in, not be at his best, and then people start getting on his back, because that's not.
One thing's for sure, Andy, is we are not going to rush him back in any way, shape, or form. There's not a chance of that happening, because we know that having done that with other players in the past, it doesn't work. So I think Kevin will get as long as he needs to get back, and that's the way it should be. And we don't get any injuries in the meantime.
Yeah, Michael's just said there, Anne-Marie, we need KDB back, but also we need to manage him. And that's all I'm saying. That is the sensible thing to do, innit?
Yeah.
So Blue Art says, sorry, Stan, I'd go with gift gaff if I were you.
Tell you what, Blue Art, I think I need a new gift gaff and somewhere to live. Well, certainly a new gaff.
Beyond belief, we've always done well without KDB previously. Bernardo and Gundogan stepped up to replace him. Now it's Alvarez. Absolutely spot on, BB. And that's pretty much what I'm saying. There's no great. I think it would be a different scenario if, for instance, we was in a poor run of form and KDB was almost there or thereabouts. Whether we would think, yeah, we need to put him in. But thankfully, we're not in that position as of yet, and that's why I say let's review where we are. When he is available for selection.
I'll tell you what, though, it's funny, isn't it, what an international break makes. The last international break, you made the fair point, Andy, that it's probably come at the right time for us.
Yep.
Because we've had those 3 defeats. Now, if Chelsea can do the business at Tottenham, we'll be going into this international break a couple of points ahead of everyone by Tottenham, and sat in a very, very nice position for a week or so, where we can sit and have a little rethink on what we want to do. So,
and to be fair as well, you're spot on with what you're saying, Stan. Pretty much as per, if I'm being honest. But we've done this without all these players, available at the start of the season. So I've said it for a while now. Once we get a fully fit squad, and we're pretty much there now, apart from KDB, there's going to be no stopping us, because it's probably one of the best starts to the season we've had. Unless I'm wrong, one of the best starts we've had, and that's not been with a fully fit squad. So by the time January comes, if Pep does need to top up, which I believe he will bring somebody in if Calvin is going, maybe somebody else will go. Don't know if that'll happen. It's only going to get better, because then Doku would have had an extra six months down the line with Pep's methods. You're going to have Oscar Bob, who's getting more game time now. You've got Rico Lewis. You've got John Stones, who'll be stronger. And don't forget, we didn't play the likes of Gvardiol, all the time since he's joined us. So, I believe Guardiola's still learning massively, under Pep's methods, and it's no coincidence. He keeps dipping him in, dipping him out, and Diaz is not. And is the milkman there?
Okay, now, honest to God, a cruel person will say that a certain ex-Irish international might have just gone to the office, but we can't be saying stuff like that anymore.
Yeah, so it's only going to get better in it, Anne-Marie.
Oh yeah, I think so. I think it is because we know once we get to Christmas, we're always a better team. That goes without saying, and I think it is just a like you say, once we get back to having a fully fit squad, and it's the same with, you say there about Gavidol. Well, it's the same with Kovacic because that's the first game yesterday he started since the Arsenal game.
I'm sorry, I'm just laughing at that. Oh my. Stan, your dog is doing a great job of doing the camera work, but stop patting it on the head.
See, on a serious note, folks, right? When you actually sit back and you look at that team with the absence of Kevin De Bruyne, you just have to think, wow. Because Guardiola, and he's just a Rolls Royce of a player. And if he's not working out, you have Aki and support him. You have Rico Lewis supporting Walker. You have Stones. You have Diaz. You have Akaki. That whole team is just... It's like a fucking dream team, really. It really is.
Yeah.
I think you're right there, Alec. It was the Arsenal fan. Right, let's just dip out of City a little bit. Let's talk about Arteta's meltdown.
Arteta is my milkman.
Right, so this is where I'm at with Arteta. Before he went to Arsenal, I thought you can see him being City's next manager, which he's learning his trade. I thought he's doing a good job. Pep's methods and la-di-da-di-da. I would give my 2 season tickets back if Arteta became our manager because there's no bigger arsehole in football at the minute than Mikel Arteta. Biggest crybaby. Does it not realise that they should have been down to 10 men as well yesterday? When Kai Havertz did the assault on the Newcastle player. And then Arsenal as a football club come out today pretty much backing Arteta's comments. I think
you have to there's method for madness. Liverpool did the same when they released their statement. They will get decisions now, 50-50 decisions, they'll get them going forward. It's as simple as that. But Liverpool's statement, Arsenal's wasn't too bad or whatever, saying we're backing Arteta. But Liverpool's statement about the sporting integrity and stuff like that, why weren't they charged for bringing the game and they just good?
I think they might be. They'll probably do it tomorrow when they get back in work.
Well, they probably won't, though, because VAR admitted they made a mistake for Liverpool. And for that reason, that's why he didn't get charged with bringing the game into disrepute. I think the same will happen again with Arteta because, like it or not, I don't know whether the ball was 100% out of play, but there was definitely a foul leading up to that goal. Whether we like it or not, it was a definite foul. Gabriel was
what did we do the Derby match when the Rat Boy scored, when Ford was judged not to be interfering with play? Pep didn't say anything about it. The club didn't say anything about it. We just got on there.
I know, but I think
what's this coming out now?
No, because I honestly think, no, but we're a different club to all of them. In that it's very rare that you see Pep come out and complain about an official or other than the Champions League where we know that he's done it. But in the league, it's very rare that you see him come out and say things about the officials. And it's the same way as you look at what's printed in the paper about us, regularly. The club do not act on it because for them, it's not about retribution, if you like, because it would be easy for us to ban certain reporters from our ground now, for the things that have been
I
said.
think
But we don't do it, and I think sometimes we have to take the opposite approach and take action. And I also think the fact that we've already got 115 charges against us with the FA.
What's the next chat?
Hang on. Can you bring up an important part there? It's not the FA, Amber. It's the Premier League, and the Premier League is made up of chairman of Arsenal. Well, all the clubs in the Premier League, basically. So. What I think what's happened is they're getting a bit of a collective meltdown here. Obviously, they don't like City dominating because we are taking somebody's money from them in Europe. They'd managed to carefully cultivate the fact that Chelsea, United, Liverpool could dominate and Arsenal. Mm-hmm. And they got all the money for years and years and years. 10 years of that, we were meant to be told that this is a really competitive league. But they were all right because they all got in Europe and they all got a lot of money. Unfortunately, now that a lot of money's coming into the thing, they're not getting any of it. They don't like decisions that are getting made. They don't like the fact that City is so well organised. It is showing them up. It really is showing them up. This is why we don't get involved, Amber, because to prove that somebody's been, they've slandered you, you've got to show that what they've said is sort of like concrete and it's affected you. A lot of what these other clubs say don't affect us because it's just nonsense and they're just whinging and bitching.
I honestly think, though, at some point we will react. And I think these clubs, and Pep named them all, that he will be out to get revenge on.
Yeah.
Because, some of these clubs, if you look at the likes of Everton, Burnley, what right did they have to jump on the bandwagon?
Yeah,
to try and
Burnley
League
was the one that made me laugh.
Exactly. So you look at that, you think, what has it got to do with you?
Yeah. Good evening, Martin. Martin says Arsenal and Arteta right to be annoyed to be honest. I think if people living
Jesus
in
Christ,
if people live in glass houses, they shouldn't throw stones because if I was Arteta yesterday, I'd have kept my counsel a little bit, thinking we're lucky to have been playing all that game with 11 men, and just mixing up what you three have already said regarding Arsenal and Arteta. All three of you are right because Pep keeps his counsel, keeps it calm, whereas we just get on with it. Whereas Arteta and Arsenal, it just shows they're a desperate team, what are under so much pressure, and then they're just combusting. They'll be falling apart, and that's when you see tackles flying in like that. You get Arteta's breakdowns and combusting on, in social media and interviews and stuff like that. So that just show everybody says, Arteta's trying to, copy Pep with everything, which is right. There's one thing what he really needs to do, and that's to look at and try and copy Pep the way Pep conducts himself on and off the pitch.
I tell you what, though, nobody. If somebody said that Pep can have a go, go on, Paddy.
I'm not saying they handed the same Pep as a touchline ban already.
Yeah, I know this is it. Nobody would disagree that Pep will have a go when he thinks something's gone wrong. But he'll only have a go when he thinks something's gone wrong that has gone wrong. He won't come up, if he sees something that he doesn't agree with, he'll let most of it go. These are what you're saying, Andy. They're under tremendous pressure. And they're looking at it already and they're thinking, beginning of November, and we're already 2 points behind City. They've not even got into after Christmas yet when they go on the steamroller. If they can't be at least 10 points ahead of us at Christmas, and even that doesn't matter because we can do it, they're not going to win the league. And none of them are.
Arteta reminds me of
Comical Alley.
Kevin Keegan with the "I love it" rant. I'd love it rant because because he's clutching at straws. Because while he's in charge, I don't think they'll win the league because of his mentality.
Absolutely. Alex says Guardiola just gets on with it. Others lose it, with excuses. Martin, had it been against us, we would have gone mad as a fan base. Yeah, probably as a fan base would have gone mad, but I don't believe Pep would have come out with rants like Arteta, because that's a sign of weakness, Stan, isn't it, when you start coming out and...
It is, and to be honest with you, the biggest absolute joke of VAR this year was at Old Trafford, and I don't remember City doing a statement saying, right, you've quite clearly bent the rules here and given United a goal. So can we have an apology, please?
We didn't get one of them.
Did we get one?
No.
No, that's what I'm saying. I thought I'd missed it. I thought I thought you'd seen it. No, we didn't get an apology. We didn't ask for one. We got on with it. We just got on with winning the treble because that's what winners do. They get on with it. Things are going to go wrong. That's part and parcel of why nobody grumbles.
Just on its head, you think it in a different way, right? Them referees, they all have meetings once a week and they all meet up at, I think it's Stockley Park or wherever they do the training.
Yeah.
Liverpool are dictating what ref is going to ref their match, and Arsenal will be dictating what ref they want. What about a ref turn around and say, you know what, stick your backside, we're going on strike. Because of the amount of abuse we're getting off clubs and off managers.
I'll tell you one thing, Paddy, right? I said it today. To be fair, that Newcastle game, it was a dog's dinner for both teams. Both teams have got he should have gone off for that elbow. He should have gone off for that tackle, Arsenal. Whether that goal was given or not, you can argue all day whether it was in or out, whether it was a push and all that. The entire thing was just one massive big dog dinner. Now, when you look at what went on at the Rugby World Cup and the way they went through it, and that game is far more complicated than football, and the way they went through it, and they were saying, okay, let's have a little look at this again. So what you're suggesting is this. They were talking to each other. Everybody in the crowd knew what was going on. Everybody could hear it on TV. So is that ball, can you see where that ball's been grounded? Has it not been grounded? Do you have a better angle than that? Let's have a little look. Can you go back? Let me look at this. They were doing all that, and they got really, really complicated stuff correct. And it took them maybe a minute. We've got 4 minutes here where at one point I was thinking they're going to try and get an offside here to give Bournemouth a goal. Do you remember that one that was given offside? But it took them about 3-4 minutes to think, oh, is that fella's foot only a yard offside or 2 foot offside? What do we do? It's not VAR that's wrong. It's that PGMO. It's absolutely not fit for purpose. And they've got an absolute cheek to put professional match official. They ain't professional. They're really not professional. They're shocking. That's what annoys me. Nothing wrong with VAR. It's the monkey. If you put somebody who's passed their test in a car, it'll work and it'll drive properly. You put a monkey in there, it'll go all over. And that's what's happened. We've got monkeys driving cars on VAR. Tell you.
Okay, Mike, we talked about Paddy. Mines, but we talked about how our discipline was an issue 2 weeks ago. Let's not forget. Yeah, but we also talked about to balance that totally up. We also spoke about that some of the yellow cards unnecessary, which shouldn't have really been yellow cards. What led to red cards? We also spoke about that it seems that some officials and stuff are out to get us with certain things. To listen, I've not got an issue with Rodri getting a red card for that. But
that's the difference. We could recognise we needed, we spoke about the discipline. We recognised there was a problem with the discipline. Arsenal aren't doing that. They're trying to say, oh no, it's that PGMO, it's their fault. It's anybody but us, our fault. It's not our fault. It's not our fault. Well, that's not our fault. Arteta was saying a month ago, Oh, you got to remember, people make mistakes and things happen. When it went for him, now he's saying that. That's the difference. City will hold their hands up when we need to sort out our discipline. Arsenal won't. And that's why they won't win anything, because they project the fears, they project the worries. They're not mentally strong enough to think, do you know what, lads, that was an absolute shocker of a decision. We're going to have to put it behind us and get on with it, whether we like it or not. That's it.
Bang on, Stan.
Okay.
Bang on.
Absolutely spot on, Stan. Anne-Marie, Alex put Liverpool wanted a Spurs replay. Now, is this what it's going to start becoming? Because if an official or VAR gets something wrong, people want replays.
Well, I know. Hang on, Andy. Let's just go back a step. This is what, the fourth year of VAR. Yeah. And there's been plenty of wrong decisions highlighted in the past. And not one team, other than Liverpool, have wanted a replay of a game. Even when decisions have gone against them, not one team other than Liverpool have wanted a replay. And Liverpool will, it's not just picking on them, but, a week later, they play Everton in their derby, and their defender Canate, whatever his name is, should have been sent off for a second yellow. Yet nothing was said about that. Nothing was said. Klopp never spoke about it. Yet Everton, going by the way Liverpool's mind works, Everton should have been putting in a request for a replay. And
that's what I'm saying, Anne-Marie. It's like
the whole issue it comes back to, and I don't want to cause trouble, but it's the victim mentality.
No, I totally get where you're going with that, Anne-Marie, 100%. And listen, do you remember the good old days when a match had finished? We used to be in the pub. We used to have banter with each other about the referee got that one wrong. Human error. Now we're in a pub and stuff like that now, or on social media, and we're arguing and bantering and debating VAR getting decisions wrong when VAR was brought in to make decisions right.
Yeah,
it's not working. Get rid of it.
The thing is, we've still, as we haven't got the right people running VAR. There is no point in having referees in there watching videos of it, because if you look, Wolves have been done 2 weeks running with penalties. And that's besides the penalty they should have had against United. But 2 weeks running, they've had a penalty given against them that never was a penalty. And I honestly believe you need ex-players running VAR, because they understand the game more than a referee does.
I tell you, the thing is, though, it comes back to what we were saying, that you're right there, Andy. We used to complain about human error, but the problem is we've still got humans running those machines. Years ago, there was loads of accidents on the road, and then they brought in a driving test to make sure that people could operate the cars, right? What we've done now in football is remove that test, right, and said, okay, then any old monkey can run it. I think the problem is some of these referees don't know how to use the technology, or the referees are not getting the right people in or asking the right questions to say, right, okay, is there technology out there that can, from any angle, decide whether that ball was wholly over the line or not? They're not skint, they can do it. If we can find out,
why is it not using the same technology as goal line technology?
Exactly. There can be anything. There's 1,001 things. Tennis have got their own technology. Rugby have got their technology. Cricket have got their technology. It's all there. It's all there, and you can do it. They just don't want to do it because they're going to be giving up a little bit of, control.
Of the VAR stand, the referees don't operate the VAR. It's the IT technicians. The VAR's the referee is just looking at what the IT
That's what I'm saying. They're not asking the right questions. And if they're not, so they should be going back to that PJ Mullen and saying, right, I wanted to see this angle and I wanted to see this on Saturday, but the guy who's running that, he couldn't pick it up. I mean, how have we not got cameras going down the length of the pitch to see if a ball's gone over it? It's 2 cameras. Well, it's 4.
Don't they have the semi-automated offside in the Champions League, and the Premier League didn't want that?
Well, why didn't they want it? These are the questions that need to be asked. What's going on?
Because they can't fix matches. They can't fix matches, then, can they?
Well, there we go, there, Andrew. I mean, you know, control.
Just on a point of curiosity, like maybe someone in the chat maybe answered this, or maybe used to, maybe answered. But it's like in the other leagues, like the French league, the Spanish league, the Italian league, is there the same controversy there that we're having an appreciation over this VAR?
There are. I'll be honest with you, because you know I do read a lot of what goes on in Spain. Those controversies are there, but funnily enough, it hasn't really changed. They're still saying that Barcelona and Real Madrid get all the decisions, and then everyone else gets the crap. So that's not really changed. We just don't hear it as much over here. You know, we're not that. Whilst we see a lot more European football, I don't think people are going to be scrutinising it on the VAR side of things. I remember one time in a German game, they'd gone off for half time and then they were called back onto the pitch to finish it, because by the time they'd sorted VAR, they'd said, oh yeah, it is a penalty. And they all had to come out of the changing room to take the penalty. Yeah, so it does happen, but it's very rare. But
do you know what concerns me, Stan? You know, when it takes them half an hour to draw the lines and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Used to say them lines are legit.
Well, this is another.
Surely they must be don't know, audited on stuff like that. You know, where you know what, you know, is it legit? What, you know, where they stopped it? But what I come to a point here, like I think Paddy said before, get ex players in. Now, Mark's put ex-players would be biased towards teams they played for. Oh, it must have been Anne-Marie. Absolutely bang on. I believe that. And a belief of mine also, it goes one step further. I don't think commentators, say, for instance, I don't think Carragher should commentate on full stop, but Carragher shouldn't commentate on Liverpool matches. Gary Neville shouldn't commentate on United matches. And so, you know, who are known as big... you know, big fans of those clubs, because you do get biasness throughout. So, okay.
I tell you what, I do agree with Mark, and I do agree with your premise, Andy. However, with City, please don't have our ex-players. If they're anything like the commentators that we have, ex-players, we'll have had 3 penalties just taking the kick off. Or wouldn't even have got out of the centre circle and it'd have been a penalty for one thing or another. Can you imagine Hinchcliffe and all that lot trying to get a fair break with them? We're just not going to get it, man.
I get that FIFA, mate. About VAR is not the problem. For me, it's a collective thing. People running it, the time it takes as well. Now, listen, here's an example. I think it was Big Ange, the manager at Spurs, and he come out with a great point. I think it was last week. It takes, say, 5 minutes for, you know, whether it's a penalty or whatever. It takes 5 minutes, and then all of a sudden, they'll shout the referee over. One problem I've got with that is the monitor is always where the fans are. You know, the home fans. That shouldn't happen. That's one thing what shouldn't happen. And the second bit is, you know, when the referee is going to go over, is going to change the decision anyway. So let's eradicate that the time it's taking the referee to go over, because we know he's not going to change his mind. So just go with the VAR decision there and then, because it's just prolonging the game.
There's only one ref I know who's changed the decision and kept it to him. Stuart Atwell. The guy's an absolute ass.
So that's one example we know of him.
And he still got it wrong. He was wrong. That's why he was told goal there. Right? And then went, no, I'm Stuart Atwell and I'm wrong, so I'm going to stick with my wrong decision. It was like, honest to God, you might as well just...
The amount of money is in the game, right? Like, you look at tennis, look at the technology they use, and that ball traveling at 130 or 140 miles an hour, and they can tell if that ball crossed that line. Surely to God, we can bring in technology that can tell us if that ball crossed the line or not, and done
That's it.
instantaneously. And then that
it won't surprise me if they don't use what is it, a mini 8 or whatever it is. You know that old film they used to use years ago on Cinefilm? It wouldn't surprise me if they use that, and then they said, "Oh, we haven't got the technology. We can only see everything like 1/25th of a frame." By that time, the ball's either gone right over it, or and they can't get that actual spot on frame where the guys kick the ball, or the ball's actually rolled over the line because it's not on film.
And Marie, Sean's put here, they don't use VAR in lower leagues or cups, and fans still enjoy the games. Absolutely spot on. Take me back to them days every single day of the week where, you know, when there's no VAR being used in when City are playing stuff like that. I do actually. I sounding like Keegan now. I love it. I enjoy the games better because it's not only that now. It's with VAR, it takes the adrenaline rush of scoring a goal away from it, not just from fans' perspective, but for players' perspective as well, where, you know, they've scored a goal, even if in their own head they think the goal is perfect, there's still that anticipation. Is it going to get ruled out for corruption? I mean, for one reason or the other. Take me back to them days.
I know, but then you have... It's a difficult one, Andy, because on the one hand, you're right. It was so much more straightforward. The referee's decision was final. It was offside or it wasn't offside. It was a foul or it wasn't a foul. But there are times now when you see it used, and you can see the importance of it. You know, unfortunately, I would say that for yesterday's game, Arsenal and Newcastle, none of it was used in the right way, because Havertz should have been sent off. You know, whether the goal should have stood or not. As Martin said previously, the referee didn't even go and look at the monitor for the goal. Mm-hmm. And, you know, there are penalties that are being given now that maybe, you know, look at the penalty we got at Old Trafford last week. The referee wasn't going to give that penalty.
Yep.
But VAR said it was. And when he went and looked at it, he could see that it was. And it was a penalty, whether United like it or not. It was a foul in the box. But we wouldn't have got that without VAR. So
however, the inconsistent, you're absolutely right, Anne-Marie. The inconsistency is, you're absolutely spot on, Anne-Marie. We had a more blatant foul on Haaland in the second half.
But, you know, as was said to me last week, it was 6 of one and half dozen of the other. They both had hold of each other. It was a different situation to the first penalty we were given. But at the same time, it highlights that there should be at times more penalties given in games. If you watched Haaland yesterday, obviously in the first half, every time he was in the box, he was getting pulled and pushed all over the place yesterday. Mm-hmm. You know, whether the ball was in the box or not. So we're never, ever going to be able to please every fan with VAR.
No, so let's take it away and have a thing. Like Martin says there, the Bournemouth versus Burnley game last week, checked for a goal for Burnley, took 6.5 minutes. That's too long. For me, if it takes that long to check if it's a goal, give a goal. Give a goal. You know, because
stick with the onside decision, because it's not clear and obvious error.
Yeah. No, but we've got the issue with all of this is that if you're a fan in the stadium watching the game, it takes far too long for them to let the fans know what is actually being checked. Whereas if you're sat at home no offense, fellas, but if you sat at home watching it on the telly, you know exactly what's being checked before we do in the ground.
Yeah, that's true. You don't always know what is going on, but you do know and you do know a lot more than you guys do.
Yeah.
Absolutely
And
no
that's
doubt
one of
about
the-
that.
That's one of the
Yeah.
things that's wrong with it.
Tell you what, though, Anne-Marie,
You
at least I'll be able.
Are you attacking armchair fans there, Anne-Marie?
No, not at all.
No, I
It's
was
not
agreeing
their
with her
fault.
on that one. I tell you what, though, Andy, at least I can say to my grandkids, I've seen us get a penalty at Old Trafford. The same as my granddad could tell me. We won't see another one now for another 30 years, so why don't we just
It's
enjoy
comics,
it?
aren't they?
Yeah, even though we've been camped in their penalty area for 10 years, we finally got one and they're moaning about it. I'm loving that.
Right, let's go to fast forward a little bit to Tuesday. We've got a great chance against Young Boys to progress to the knockout stages. What team would you give Haaland a rest, Anne-Marie? Would you not rush him?
Yeah, I'd give Haaland a rest because I think he's more important for the Chelsea game. I think, if we're honest, we should beat Young Boy. we should win against Young Boys. Yeah, I've corrected myself.
Do you think you'll be able to hold them up?
Oh my God!
I think we should win against Young Boys on Tuesday, and what I'd be inclined to do is start a strong team, and as the game progresses and hopefully it's out of sight, we can take off the players that we need to.
Anne-Marie, I just want to congratulate Anne-Marie there for being so professional and carrying on.
So what you're saying, Anne-Marie, is you think we're going to start pulling players off in front of Young Boys?
No. Oh my
Sam,
God!
why did you have to go there with that?
Sorry.
That's what you do, isn't it? If a player's not playing well, you just have to pull them
No,
off.
but I didn't
And
say
in
that. What I said
some
was,
places
when
you
the
get
game's
oranges
out-
at half time.
What I actually said was, when the game is won, then you take off your better players, don't you?
Of course you do. I'm pulling your leg, you know
I know
that.
you are. But
So-
you put it in such a way to make me sound crude.
So, what?
Hey, hang on a minute. Here's our local Jimmy Savile impersonator here. You've been going on about him for the last 2 weeks, haven't you? Now then, with all this stuff. Do you remember it? Oh, yeah. It's all up there. It's all on YouTube.
I'm with us being thereabouts. I wouldn't risk Haaland.
No.
I'd give Grealish a run out.
Yeah.
In preparation. I'd probably only give him 45 minutes, depending on how the game's going, just to keep him in that match rhythm. Probably the same with Rodri, because we've seen now, and I think Paddy said it earlier on, where we've got somebody there now in John Stones or even Rico, who can mix it up a little bit. You'd like to think they'd be able to do that against the team we're playing on Tuesday. So I wouldn't make wholesale changes, but I'd just do enough to see us through that game. So we've got a good chance against Chelsea on Sunday, 4:30.
Is it home or away?
Away.
City, away on Sunday in London at 4:30. You do surprise me.
It doesn't matter whether we're at home or away for you, Fire Stick crew, does it?
Oh, are you going?
Yes, I'll be there watching it on TV.
Yes, yeah.
No, but I would you agree, sort of like with the way I would play it if it was me, with making not wholesale changes, but just enough to see us through?
Just enough to get the 3 points and get us qualified.
This is the sort of game where, like Anne-Marie said, if we can get into a decent 2-0 lead or something early on, that you want the likes of Oscar Bob and maybe another lad from the youth team to come through and make sure that they get a few minutes as a bit of a guide to the rest of the lads, that if you work hard, you can get minutes and you can get a chance. We've got to do it. He's not one for risk, but then again, he might think, well, this could be a good game for the likes of Nunes, and it was the other one that we signed in the. Got his name.
Gavidol.
No, Kovacic. It could be another chance to give them a few more minutes. So that if somebody is injured or gets sent up or whatever for the Premier League, they've had a few more minutes under the belt to play the way we want them to play.
Stan, you're right, because we are in a position where, although it's not a massive squad, we can interchange players in different positions, and that's what keeps us refreshed. Rather than he's a right winger, he's a left winger, he's a centre mid. It doesn't work that way.
No, it doesn't. It's like we've got a team full of Swiss Army knives, haven't we? Where they can all do a little bit of this and a little bit of that, and we can change things.
I'm pretty sure the only Swiss we've got is a Kanji.
I'm gonna poke a few holes in that. It's not.
Right. Anyway, anything else before we wrap it up?
Oh, big up to Kira Keating for today. Yes, she did make a mistake. She did. It wasn't tough. And
she did well to save the penalty.
It is wholly on her, that goal. However, we were pushing up. There was nobody there supporting her. She's 19 years old. She'd only conceded one goal up to this week. She's doing a fantastic job.
Absolutely, mate. Absolutely.
And I hope that Taylor sticks with her. I think he will. And just says, listen, there wasn't a single player on that pitch who didn't make a mistake. Every player, every week, makes a mistake. Sometimes you get away with it. Sometimes you miss a chance and we don't score. Again, there was another one. We should have had a penalty. When that happened, it should have been 2-1 up anyway.
On Bunny Shaw.
Yeah. They didn't give that on Bunny Shaw today, yet they gave it for Newcastle yesterday. Where's the consistency? But other than that...
No VAR in the women's game.
Yeah, keep going, Keats. You'll be all right. You're a good player.
No bra in the women's game.
VAR.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, absolutely right, Stan. We can't, dig people out like young Keaton and stuff like that. Yeah, she saved a penalty, but she caused it. But she caused the penalty, but to save it, it just shows what mental strength she has got, because she could have wobbled, but didn't pretty much straight after that error as well. So listen, we didn't deserve to lose that today, but we're still second on 10 points, are we? So fine. Right, listen, guys, thank you very much for joining us. Always a pleasure, never a chore. Anne-Marie, next week, be on time. I don't care who you're dropping off at the airport. And your potty mouth, love. And innuendos.
I think you'll find I stopped myself from the innuendo.
She's on 4 yellow cards.
Say nothing.
Next one, she's
got more yellow cards than Pep. Thanks for everybody in the chat. It's always, I love doing it with all the interaction and stuff like that. Absolutely brilliant. We'll be back next week. Hopefully, we'll be through to the knockout stages of the Champions League, as well as another 3 points against against Chelsea. Anybody who still wants more City chat and stuff like that, head over to Martin's show. I don't know what time he's starting, but yeah. Get your backsides over there, and thank you for joining us. And we will do it all again.
Yeah,
when we will do it again, Stan.
Oh, about 7:05. The clock's going forward 5 minutes next week. So
thanks for joining us, guys. See you next week.